So Nate Robinson and Mike Tyson fought recently in some boxing matches that were fun to watch.
I was in my feelings about Nate.
You said you what?
I was in my feelings.
As soon as it started, you just
he was at a clear disadvantage though.
I don't even watch boxing, and I was like, he's doing with this weird thing he had.
The reach was drastically different. Like they should have never been matched up together.
So the Paul brothers are both huge, and they're athletes. They were both wrestlers in high school. But I think he's like 6'3". Nate's like 5'10". So the reach advantage was drastic. But Nate is a super athlete. So that's what made me curious. Like, okay, what's going to happen here? But as soon as it started and he's like charging in head first, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to end well. And then, the first knockdown was in the back of the head. The second one was more of like it wasn't really a knock, but when he got hit and went down and landed on his face, that was scary.
That was scary.
I was the same thing, Tito. I was like, well, he's a super athlete, so, he can at least, this should be interesting. But like you said, when he started charging him, I'm like, this is not a UFC match.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, he looked like he was like trying to tackle him or take him down.
It looked like he didn't training.
That's exactly what I said. It looked like he had no training, or whoever trained him should be punched and knocked out themselves because they did a terrible job.
That was bad.
Yeah, I was very surprised because usually when people have a height advantage, like I don't know if you know, it's like Mike Tyson doesn't have a long reach. Mm-hmm. So usually he has to get in before he starts doing his damage. But just the technique for when you have a shorter reach is not what happened. And I was so surprised / disappointed. Yeah, my heart went out to him. And then when he fell, the way he fell, like even the way his legs were, I got scared because he was unconscious.
Right.
He was on his face, then slid forward. I'm like, oh man.
I got scared.
He was out cold for a solid 2 minutes, cold.
I said he was okay. I started to lighten up a little bit, but I was just like, this is not going to sit well in 2020. People ain't got nothing else to do, like you said, LaShawn. I was like, oh, poor baby. But he seems to be doing well mentally. He seems to be kind of well, at least outwardly. He's joining in on making fun of himself.
What else can you do? What else can you do but make fun of yourself? They are dogging this man. He is a meme for years now. I mean, this is worse than Pacquiao. Like, this is crazy.
And I don't think they should have dogged him for it because that would have been just the size advantage and the reach in general.
But they were talking crazy before the fight too, so you can't talk crazy and then have that happen.
Exactly. And Paul, his trolling.
What did he say before the fight? What did he do?
They were just trash talking.
I didn't hear it.
But you got to remember, Jake Paul is a troll. Like, that's what he does for a living. When he came out to, we're playing basketball, I'm like, this Negro, like, he's not even a Negro, but you know what I mean. Like, this fool is just on another level of trolling. He been trolling him since he had on his jersey, posting pictures online. I was just like, it's just wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels.
SportsCenter was wrong. They had 6 or 7 Instagram posts. I was like, come on. And then some of the posts was 6 pictures. You scrolling. I'm like, stop.
They shouldn't have gave any of that coverage. They did the Twitter post. When you watch the main event, it was so clearly fake. And I'm like, oh, come on now.
Mike Tyson.
I was so disappointed. Yeah, that was a joke.
That was disappointing.
He wasn't even throwing half power.
No.
Okay, so this is going to go the distance. And of course, it went the distance. And I'm like, and then they didn't even do the official announcement. There was no judges because the commission labeled it a exhibition of skills. They didn't sanction it as a fight. So right there should have been a flag for me, but I ignored it. I listened to Chael Sonnen talk about it, and he was like, this is an exhibition which they've been saying, but the fighters were saying this is a fight. The advertising was saying this is a fight. So when I watch it, it's not really a fight. It's like, this is a joke.
And then they're gonna, and then they
in between every fight, an hour between each fight. What is this?
And then they called it a draw after all of that. Like, get that out of here.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Well, they did. I think that they did all that, and it was political. I think they're trying to get the rematch because they mentioned doing a rematch.
Nobody's gonna watch that. Nobody's gonna watch that rematch.
And that's what I said. I would not pay to watch the second version of this. Like, I don't want to pay for that.
But I think that's what that's what it was for. That's what the setup was for. It was for the rematch.
So
if it was a fight, I think Mike Tyson might have wanted a rematch so he can actually fight him. Because when Dave told me it was no knockouts and he started reading me the rules, I said, well, why are we watching this? I'm like, I could tell from how they're moving that Mike Tyson is holding back immediately. This was like first round, nothing happening. I'm like, what? Why is he not punching him in the face? Like, this is just silly. He was
which makes sense.
Can't do that. I'm like, what are we? This is stupid.
I think like towards the end, he started giving him real body shots, like not full power, but like, I could tell he felt those shots. But
yeah, he felt them. I felt like Mike Tyson felt like he was holding him up the whole damn. I mean, he started breathing. I'm like, did he prepare at all? What is happening? I'm like, I don't think he wanted to fight him. Like, I just feel like they just wanted to hold on to each other. Mike Tyson probably felt immediately that he was struggling and just kind of held back and was like, rematch.
I mean, Tyson was in obviously better shape. Like, he wasn't.
Have y'all seen his training videos?
And it's crazy.
The trainer with the gloves worse than he did.
Exactly.
You would think that Mike Tyson was the younger one in that fight. The way Roy Jones was breathing, he was just out of breath. He's like, man, them body shots hurt. All my insides hurt. Like, it was crazy.
What's funny is he actually fought up until like 3-4 years ago, Roy Jones. Tyson hasn't fought in 15 years.
And that's what Tyson was saying. He was like, y'all checking on him. It's been 15 years. Check on me.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Mike Tyson is freaking hilarious? I love Mike Tyson. Oh, yeah. I think he is one of the funniest. No, I didn't know he had a podcast.
Have you ever seen his one-man show?
Oh, it's excellent.
Yes, I saw parts of it. I watched Mike Tyson
in its entirety. Watch it.
That show was phenomenal. The one-man show was phenomenal.
Wow, it's amazing.
It's different every time too, because he has so many stories. That's phenomenal.
I think it's on a streaming service, so I'm gonna watch it because I watched Mike Tyson Mysteries and I die laughing because it's so funny and it's so stupid and it's so brilliant. And Mike Tyson is hilarious. I love that man.
I love listening to him talk because I related to like Charlie Murphy or like just like or like a stand-up comedian is just uncensored. They just say it and that's what happened and it's just matter of fact. It's just I can sit and listen to him tell his stories for hours.
His stories are so crazy and like she said, he just says it like it's nothing. Like, dude, if you haven't seen his one-man show, you have to see it.
He could be the perfect journalist. He just says it. No, that's how he saw it. That's what it was. He tells both the good, bad, ugly, like all the little details. He doesn't care.
Talking about that video you were talking about, the training video, Joe Rogan. Well, Tyson went on Joe Rogan's show, and Tyson was telling him, he was like, "Man, my body hurt for a week." He was like, "I couldn't move," and Rogan started laughing. He was like, "No, I'm serious." So Rogan stopped laughing. Like, no. It's not funny. And he was like, okay, I guess it's not funny. I ain't laughing with this dude here. He's like a lion. And that's how Joe Rogan described him. He's like, you're like sitting in a room with a lion. Like, it's terrifying, but it's so cool at the same time. That dude is a trip. Yeah, Tyson is excellent.
I would being a gladiator.
I was just gonna say one thing at the beginning of the fight when he was being interviewed, and he was just like, well, I don't remember what the interviewer asked him, but he was like, whatever I put my mind to, I do it. I just do it. There's no option. If I say I'm going to do it, I do it. And it's just like, it's not funny. And he's being completely serious. You kind of want to laugh though, but it's just like,
Like, not if he's in the same room, you don't.
Yeah. Well, that's why I felt like it was tense. It was super tense because the interview was like, okay.
And people write him off as crazy or slow. That people are like, he's off. No, this man, he's not slow. He's smart.
Not at all.
He's lived so much life. He's just so full of information. Like, I would to sit in a room and just listen to this man talk for an hour, which is why I'll be happily watch his one-man show. It's just like fascinating.
Yeah.
You remember in Sin City how they described Mickey Rourke when he was in the bar? Like when they were talking about like how he like in his like in if he was in the Gladiator times they would be celebrating him. But like like that's how I feel about Tyson. Yeah. Like that description for Mickey Rourke's character in Sin City, that's how I feel about him.
Yeah.
But you know they're making Jamie Foxx is gonna be him in the movie. They're making a movie about him.
And he told Jamie, and it better be good.
But Jamie Foxx has known Mike Tyson for a lot of years, and he said he knew Mike Tyson when he was like really down in the dumps, and he's like that's why he's excited to play him, and I'm excited to see Jamie Foxx play him because I think Jamie Foxx.
He's what?
I think Jamie Foxx is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think Jamie Foxx is overdue for this kind of role too because he's been doing a lot of these random weird movies, and it's been a while since we had a soloist or a Ray. So I'm really excited to see the Tyson movie.
What were you saying?
Tyson's giving insight in that role and movie too, because they are good friends. But yeah, you got to listen to Hotbox and or just watch him on Joe Rogan's podcast because that's like a 3-hour conversation. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
the dude's fascinating.
Yeah, I've heard him do random interviews with people, and just like I said, when he talks, the stuff that he's been through, the things that he talks about, is just so interesting. He's lived such a fascinating life.
And then, like, I feel for him too because he never really had a childhood either. Like, this is somebody that grew up on his own fast, and he got thrown to the sharks.
I think that's what makes him quirky too, is that he had, not weird, but a different upbringing, and it makes him a little quirky. Plus his voice, I'm sure he got messed with for that and different things. So when people are like, he's crazy, I'm like, that's a wise man. That's a wise man right there.
He's very philosophical, and he's an encyclopedia when it comes to combat sports, period, not just boxing. Like, he knows every fight. He can tell you like specific fights, the round that this person got. It's like, holy crap. He's really, really, really well-versed in combat sports.
Yeah.
MMA too. He knows his stuff.
Yeah. And one thing I love about him too is he's not a hater. Like, the people that he respects, you can tell. Mm-hmm. Like I just really like the way he's so humble still. Even when he interacts with certain people, like if he likes you, you can tell. If he doesn't like you, you can tell. And I respect that. You ain't gotta like it, but you gotta respect it.
That's true. Yeah, respect to Mike Tyson. I'm gonna check out.
The hot boxing, there's a video version of it too. Watch the video because you can see him. And when he's talking to these dudes, what's that? There's some rapper who said something about DWades' son. He asked the dude straight up, are you scared that you're homosexual? And the dude's like, what are you going to say? He just straight up asked the dude. I think he used the F word. I'm not sure.
I can't. Which rapper was that was talking crap about his son?
Or who's something.
Yeah, Lil Boosie.
Yeah.
Lil Boosie.
Ooh, yeah. It got tense in that room quick. It got tense.
So wait, what happened? Sorry, I'm not following. So Lil
Tyson asked him, why are you talking about DWades' son? You fear that you're a homosexual? And the dude's like, and he's just asking him questions, but you better answer because you're sitting next to Mike, and he's only like 3 feet away from Mike Tyson when he's asking these questions. I'm like, oh boy, this can go really bad really fast. He says, no, I don't think that. Okay.
Because it's like, why are you talking about? It's like, why are you talking about somebody else's child? Like, I don't like when people talk about people's kids. What else is D-Wade supposed to do? He's either going to, disown his child or he's going to support his child. These are the only, real options that he has. So, like, if he chooses to support his child and then you get upset that he's supporting his child, it's just, I don't know. I think it's stupid. Why do you care what's going on in their household? Worry about what's going on in your household.
And I think people are tainting his support of his child to make it sound like he's influencing his child. It's like, no, he's supporting his child. Like, leave the man alone. It
doesn't have anything to do with you. He's not like he is bringing the kid all and talking all around the world and bringing him on all these talk shows and let him, like, no, he was very clear. Like, when she has a voice and wants to speak up, they will. Until then, I'm trying to keep it, just pictures and normal family videos and all of that. When they want to speak out about their situation, they can. I'm not going to take that from them. It's all about just one day at a time.
And even if you have your opinions, why give them? Like, who cares? Nobody cares about
who asked you? And also, like, again, that's social media. Like, social media makes people feel like they're more relevant than they are. They think people feel like they're more important than they are. Nobody asks you. Nobody cares. I don't want to know what you're eating. I don't care what you're eating. I don't care what you feel about my family or my kid. Have a good day.
So true.
I still don't know who that Boosie guy is, but
and then he like 2 seconds after that when he was talking about how he got his son his first favor. Yeah.
I hate when parents do dumb stuff like that. That was the T.I. moment where I was like, look, man. Like, I'm not even gonna go into that.
He caught a lot of heat.
That's so silly.
Like, they were talking about opening up child protective service case. Like,
he basically said he had a woman, do whatever with his son, and he was only like 14 or something.
His underage child, yes.
Yeah, I remember that now. That was disgusting. And
after that, he kept talking, like, he'll go on his live post because he go on live a lot for different stuff. He was like, I ain't saying nothing no more.
And that's what's messed up.
You don't need nobody to snitch on you. People snitch on themselves. People report their own crimes. You don't need nobody.
But there's people around them who are like, yeah, post that. That's normal. It's not normal. There's people who think that shit is normal. Like,
but even if you thought, whether you thought it was normal or not, you're on a recorded internet, and you're reporting to the world that you got an adult woman to say that you paid.
Several crimes, all in that one sentence.
In the past.
And he's it's not his first rodeo. This man has been to jail. Like, better than that. You know better.
No, that's why he been to jail, because he don't know better. That's like he keep getting caught.
You said he needs to change his ways. He needs to stop. Look.
Do better.
When you keep getting caught, you're not a good criminal. Good criminals don't get caught.
He's a good criminal. I'm just saying he should know better.
By now.
To me, nobody knows the law better than criminals. Career criminals know the law.
They know
better than any of us.
They just don't know how to avoid it.
I have learned a lot of legal things from criminals. Like, they tell you outright because they've been in the system. They know how it goes. Never knew this stuff.
What the lawyer said. As soon as somebody starts doing something, I don't know if you want to do that because it could be 5 to 10 years.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Just letting you know right now. We know we're getting ourselves into.